My heart stopped when I saw Deborah Miller spit on Emma's face. My 11-year-old daughter sat frozen in her wheelchair, tears streaming down her cheeks as saliva dripped from her chin. Deborah, the HOA president, stood over her with a cruel smile, unaware that I work for Child Protective Services. She didn't know who she was messing with, but she was about to find out. 5 days ago, Emma and I moved to Oakwood Village for a fresh start after her father left us. Emma has cerebral palsy and uses a wheelchair, but her spirit is unbreakable. Her smile lights up any room, warming the hearts of everyone she meets. I took a job transfer here because our new house has no stairs and wide doorways, perfect for Emma's needs. That Tuesday morning began with promise. Emma wanted to display her seashell collection on our front porch, treasures her grandfather gave her before he passed away last year. She sorts them by color and size, finding comfort in them when sadness creeps in. "Of course you can, sweetheart," I told her. "This is our home now." I stepped inside to grab more moving boxes, but a harsh voice shattered the morning's calm. "What is this junk? Remove it now." I rushed outside to find Deborah Miller towering over Emma. Her expensive clothes and perfectly styled hair screamed wealth, her red-painted nails gleaming as she pointed at the scattered shells, many now broken on the ground. Emma was crying, her voice small. "Please don't touch my shells. They're special to me." Deborah's face flushed with anger. "I don't care. This neighborhood has rules. No junk on porches, no wheelchairs in public view, no ramps without permission." I was still crossing the lawn when Deborah leaned down and spat directly in Emma's face. The saliva landed on her cheek and tangled in her hair. Emma froze, her eyes welling with tears, her hands gripping her wheelchair so tightly her knuckles turned white. Something snapped inside me. I ran to them, my voice trembling with rage. "What did you just do?" Deborah turned, her expression dripping with disdain. "I'm Deborah Miller, HOA president. You need to learn the rules or leave. Her disability doesn't give her special rights. You people always want special treatment." I knelt beside Emma, wiping her face with my sleeve, my hands shaking. She sobbed quietly, her body trembling. "You just spat on a disabled child," I said, forcing my voice to stay steady. "That's assault." Deborah laughed, unfazed. "Don't be dramatic. Clean up this mess and remove those ugly ramps. They're not approved. I'll fine you $100 a day until they're gone." "Those ramps stay," I said, my voice cold as ice. "They're required by the Americans with Disabilities Act." I pulled out my phone. Deborah smirked. "Who are you calling?" "The police," I replied. "My name is Sarah Johnson. I'm a Child Protective Services investigator, just transferred to the local office. I investigate people who abuse children for a living." Her smirk vanished, her eyes widening with shock. "I'm reporting you for assaulting my disabled daughter," I continued, holding Emma's hand as she cried. I dialed 911 as neighbors emerged from their homes, some recording the scene on their phones. Deborah's voice turned shrill. "You have no idea who I am. My husband is the top lawyer in this town. We can make your life miserable." "No, you have no idea who I am," I shot back. "I've spent 10 years protecting children from abusive adults. I know every judge in this county and every disability law by heart. And I have witnesses who saw you spit on my daughter." The police arrived quickly. Officer Rodriguez took Emma and me aside, his voice gentle as he handed her a teddy bear from his patrol car. "This is Officer Teddy," he said. "He helps brave kids feel better." Officer Bennett questioned Deborah as neighbors whispered stories to me. "She made the Wilson family remove their son's therapy swing," one said. "Their boy has autism and needed it to calm down." Another added, "She fined the Lopez family for their autism awareness flag. They have twins with special needs." An older woman shared, "She told my daughter her wheelchair lowered property values." My Lisa cried for days. Officer Bennett returned. "Ma'am, would you like to press charges for assault?" "Yes," I said firmly, feeling Emma squeeze my hand. Deborah's face paled as the officer explained she faced charges for assault on a minor, with possible hate crime enhancements for targeting a disabled child. "This is crazy," she shouted. "I'm calling my husband. He's a lawyer. I'll sue all of you. Your crippled brat doesn't belong here anyway." The neighbors gasped. Officer Bennett cut her off. "That's enough, ma'am," he said, closing the police car door. I called after her. "Good idea. Tell your husband to read up on the ADA. And maybe find a good criminal defense lawyer." That night, after Emma fell asleep clutching Officer Teddy, I sat on our porch, picking up pieces of her broken shells. Tears fell as I replayed the fear in her eyes. My phone buzzed with texts from neighbors offering support and sharing their own stories of Deborah's bullying. Mrs. Garcia from next door brought cookies and sat with me. "We've all been afraid of her for years," she admitted. No one dared stand up to her. "Thank you for being brave." The next morning, I called my boss at CPS to recuse myself from any cases involving Deborah due to the conflict. "The HOA tyrant," he sighed. "We've had complaints about her before. 3 families with disabled children reported feeling threatened, but no one would file charges. They were too scared. She picked the wrong mom this time." 3 days later, I stood at an emergency HOA meeting in the community center. The room was packed, people standing against walls and sitting on the floor. Deborah's husband sat in the back, his face stormy, as I addressed the crowd. Yesterday, Mrs. Miller was served a restraining order keeping her 500 feet from my daughter. Today, I'm filing a formal complaint against this HOA for 26 disability law violations. The room erupted in applause. Mr. Chin, an elderly man with a cane, stood slowly. "I move to remove Deborah Miller as HOA president right now." The vote was unanimous, not a single hand raised for her. Deborah's husband stormed out, slamming the door. Mr. Chin was elected temporary president, immediately canceling all disability-related fines and approving accessibility modifications. The next week, neighbors left flowers on our porch with a note. "Thank you for standing up to her. We've been scared for years." Others brought food and cards. A family introduced their son, who also used a wheelchair, to Emma. He had stayed indoors for months after Deborah mocked him at the park, calling him an eyesore. Emma and he played board games for hours, forging her first real friendship. Word spread, and 15 families came forward, reporting Deborah's harassment of disabled residents. 3 had moved away because of her. A local TV station ran a story titled, "HOA Discrimination Exposed." The district attorney called. "We're adding harassment charges based on new witness statements. 5 more families want to file complaints." Deborah's lawyer husband stopped defending her as his firm lost clients unwilling to support disability discrimination. He issued a public apology and offered free legal work for disability rights groups. A month later, 30 neighbors surprised us with a weatherproof display case for Emma's shells, engraved with Emma's treasures. "All welcome here." Emma cried happy tears. "Mom, I think we have real friends now." They also brought replacement shells, some collected from the beach just for her. At Deborah's court date 6 weeks later, 3 videos showed her spitting on Emma. The judge, whose granddaughter has Down syndrome, showed no sympathy. Deborah was found guilty of assault on a minor, harassment, and intimidation, sentenced to 300 hours of community service at a disability center, a $10,000 fine to disability rights groups, mandatory sensitivity training, and 2 years probation. The packed courtroom cheered, and Emma smiled for the first time since that awful day. Our civil lawsuit against Deborah and the HOA moved forward, taken pro bono by disability rights lawyers who saw its potential to change HOA policies nationwide. They uncovered records of Deborah targeting disabled residents with discriminatory rules for years. 6 months after moving in, our neighborhood transformed. The HOA rewrote its rules to ensure fairness. Therapy equipment and support flags were allowed, ramps approved instantly. An accessibility committee, half its members disabled, was formed. Emma started a friendship club for kids with and without disabilities, growing from 20 to 45 members in 2 months, hosting playdates and movie nights. The community pool, once too complicated to make accessible, gained a ramp and lift chair, funded in 1 weekend. The park received inclusive playground equipment, including wheelchair swings. Deborah's husband filed for divorce, admitting he hadn't realized her cruelty until court. He donated funds for a sensory garden named after Emma. Our story made national news, prompting other neighborhoods to review their HOA rules. 3 states proposed laws banning HOA disability discrimination. At CPS, my boss offered me a new role as a disability rights advocate for foster children, ensuring their care and accommodations. I accepted immediately. At a backyard party, 20 kids, 9 with disabilities, laughed and played. Parents who once hid their children now brought them proudly. "Mom," Emma said as I tucked her in, "that mean lady did us a favor. She brought everyone together. Sometimes bad things lead to good things." Deborah moved 3 towns away, claiming she was forced out, but the truth followed her. The local paper ran a story, how one brave girl changed a community. Mr. Chin, now permanent HOA president, renamed our street Inclusion Way and created a diversity celebration day. Emma and I walk down Inclusion Way daily, greeted by waves and smiles. No one stares at her wheelchair anymore. They ask about her latest shells or the next friendship club meeting. Next Saturday, a block party will mark 1 year since the HOA revolution. Accessible games, sensory-friendly zones, and sign language interpreters will welcome all, especially families once excluded. Emma will give a speech she's practiced for weeks. Last night, she shared her closing lines, bringing tears to my eyes. One person tried to make me feel small and broken. Instead, she showed me how strong I am. Our neighborhood proves everyone belongs. If someone is mean because you're different, stand tall. You have the right to be here. Emma dreams of becoming a disability rights lawyer to protect others. Our story began with a cruel act, but became a testament to justice and community. A mean HOA president didn't know she was targeting the daughter of a woman who fights for children's rights. Sometimes the worst moments spark the greatest change.